am woke now, and I can prove it. Here you go. I love illegal immigrants. Yeah, sue me now. Sometimes I go down to Dover for the day, right? And I look out, right? I look for a boat, and I see a dinghy with about 60 of them, and I go over here, like, right? And I pull them into shore, and I go, women and children first. They go, there are no women and children. Just you lads, is it? Just come on, lads. Come on, lads.
Ricky Gervais is widely regarded as one of the most hilarious comedians today. He fearlessly tackles
Ricky
any
Gervais
topic,
is
which
among
is why
the
so many
most
admire
hilarious
him.
comedians
However,
out there.
what
He
truly
never
sets
backs
him
down from
apart
any
isn't
topic,
just his
and that's
clever
why
jokes.
I tried to watch a bit of it, and I decided I'd rather watch Louis C.K. masturbate. Can't mention him anymore. He's cancelled.
While his wit is undeniable, people laugh because he highlights the truth, often the uncomfortable, harsh truth. His humor resonates because he says what everyone is thinking but won't dare to voice. In this video, we delve into Ricky's sharpest takes on woke culture. From critiques of censorship to biting jokes about identity and politics, get ready for some of his most controversial moments. No topic is off limits, and no one escapes his signature sarcasm. We start with Ricky's thoughts on Boris Johnson's infamous remarks about Muslim women. True to form, Ricky finds humor in even the most...
And people say to me, you spoil that cat? I go, yeah, I do. It's a cat. It's not a person. What's the worst that can happen if you spoil a cat? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't grow up to be fucking Boris Johnson. It is... No, I don't get political.
Sensitive subjects, taking sharp aim at both Boris and society's double standards in one swift jab. Then we move to something even bolder, Ricky's satirical take on illegal immigration.
Well, I am woke now, and I can prove it. Here you go. I love illegal immigrants. And I go, where you headed? And he goes, Gary Lineker's house. I go, it's just down there.
Let's dive right in. Ricky Gervais humorously suggests that immigrants should be welcome at Gary Lineker's house, turning a serious topic into laugh-out-loud humor. He then shifts focus to a subject closer to home for comedians. Woke comedy. With comedy increasingly bound by rules, Ricky is not one to conform. His take...
When someone says to me about another comedian, they say, oh, they're not funny. Even if I agree with them, I stand up and I say, well, you can't say that. You've got to say, you don't find them funny, you know? And I hate it when people say, that joke was offensive. I gotta say, no, you've got to say, you found it offensive. Because it's all about feelings, and feelings are personal.
On woke comedy and the concept of safe spaces and stand-up is as bold as it is insightful. Ricky argues that comedy without the potential to offend isn't truly comedy, challenging the growing trend of sanitized humor. Next, we dive in...
Last time I did it was a Caitlyn Jenner joke, right? Oh, outrage on Twitter the next day. And by outrage, I mean a couple of people going, it was transphobic. It wasn't transphobic in the slightest. It was a joke about a trans person, but the joke had nothing to do with that aspect of her existence. And that's the other thing about offence. People get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target, and they're not necessarily the same. I'll tell you the joke. You make your own minds up. Right. So...
into one of Ricky's most controversial moments, his Caitlyn Jenner joke. While some labeled it transphobic, Ricky explains why they missed the mark. He emphasizes that the subject of a joke isn't always the target, a nuanced lesson many still struggle to grasp. I have a site. Finally, we explore Ricky's thoughts on cancel culture. He addresses it head on.
But if you're the type of person to revel in someone getting cancelled for something they said 10 years ago, you're just ensuring that one day you'll be cancelled for something you said today. You can't predict. The worst thing you can say today is, women don't have penises, right? Now, no one saw that coming.
Warning that those celebrating today's cancellations might find themselves on the receiving end tomorrow. His commentary is sharp, fearless, and thought-provoking as always. Let's move on to another controversial topic, the shifting definition of what...
Oh, women. Not all women. I mean the old-fashioned ones. You know, the old-fashioned women. Oh, God. You know, the ones with wombs. Oh.
It means to be a woman. Ricky Gervais never shies away from polarizing issues, and his comedy takes on the evolving concepts of gender and identity.
I was listening to the radio in England a few weeks back, Radio 4, quite highbrow. There was a discussion about political correctness. My name came up straight away, right? And there was this woman on there going, oh yeah, well it's not right. Ricky Gervais, he makes jokes about fat people. He wouldn't make jokes about gay people, would he? And being fat is like being gay. What? No, it's not. What? You can't choose your sexuality.
Identity with his trademark sharp wit. Next, Ricky addresses another sensitive subject, obesity. True to form, he twists the discussion with a touch of absurdity, humorously comparing it to being gay, only to dismiss the comparison outright. His approach blends humor with a biting critique, challenging societal narratives with...
Apple roared into the TV game with a morning show, a superb drama, a superb drama about the importance of dignity and doing the right thing, made by a company that runs sweatshops in China.
With laughter. Ricky then sets his sights on a larger target, the hypocrisy of woke corporations and Hollywood.
Of course, the word queer has changed. Again, traditionally, the word queer used to mean someone who was attracted to the same sex as themselves, a gay man. Now, the word queer can mean a straight man who wants some attention.
With their virtue-signaling speeches backed by companies that operate sweatshops, Ricky isn't impressed by the moral high ground these celebrities attempt to claim. He calls out the contradictions with precision and sarcasm. The term queer has also undergone a significant shift over time, and Ricky has a laugh at how confusing it's become.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about offence, isn't it? When people say they're offended, it's that, just because you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right, you know? It's... offence is about feelings, and feelings are personal.
His biting humor exposes the absurdities in modern language and identity politics. Finally, Ricky dives into what happens when people claim offense. According to him, being offended doesn't automatically make someone right. In this segment, he explores why, in his opinion...
My last show, Supernature, dropped on Netflix last year. Big backlash, wasn't there? Big backlash. People going, you can't say that. You can. I did. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke, the first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist.
Offense often holds less weight than people think. Ricky Gervais believes comedy should challenge boundaries, arguing that the best humor pushes against societal norms. While it's a fine line, Ricky is convinced that questioning the status quo is crucial to great comedy.
Cultural appropriation. Have you heard of that? Cultural appropriation, the latest no-no. Now, again, in my day, it was considered a good thing to swap ideas with other cultures, with other nations, to share things with other races, to assimilate. It was the opposite of racist. Now it's racist.
He also addresses the reaction to his Netflix special, Supernature.
But these people are virtue signaling. They're trying to bring people down to raise their own status. And they say it's because, no, we're protecting minorities. Like, they're basically saying minorities haven't got a sense of humor. I'm a white, heterosexual multi-millionaire, right? There's less than 1% of us.
Which sparks significant online controversy. Ricky's response? He's not losing any sleep over it. In fact, he believes controversy often enhances the popularity of a comedy special, drawing more attention to the material. Next, Ricky tackles cultural appropriation, a topic frequently in the spotlight. However, he questions whether it's as problematic.
Try and explain to someone every day what freedom of speech means, particularly in the context of comedy, and particularly in the context of a joke, that a joke about a bad thing isn't as bad as the bad thing. It's not even necessarily condoning the bad thing. It could be anti the bad thing. It depends on the actual joke. And this woman said, you should never make jokes about food allergies. I should have left it, right? I sent back, I make jokes about AIDS, cancer, famine, and the Holocaust, right? And you're telling me I should never joke about food allergies. She sent back, yes, but the Holocaust didn't kill children. Well, it did, didn't it? It was horrible, the Holocaust. Some would say as bad as food allergies.
As it's often made out to be, sharing his unique perspective. He then turns his sharp wit toward virtue signalers, criticizing those who feign support for minorities without genuinely understanding their experiences. To Ricky, this behavior is more condescending than progressive. And finally, Ricky dives into the limits of...
It's not a show. There's no dancers or jugglers. It's basically a bloke talking, which is essentially what stand-up comedy is, isn't it? A bloke talking. Sexist. What about all the funny female comedians? Like, no. Right. No. I'm not doing that. Okay, right. That was irony. There's going to be a bit of that throughout the show. See if you can spot it, okay? Now, that's when I say something I don't really mean for comic effect, and you as an audience, you laugh at the wrong thing because you know what the right thing is. It's a way of satirising attitudes. Like that first joke, I used the old-fashioned sexist trope that women aren't funny. Now, in real life, I know there are loads of funny women. Like, I did it again, well spotted, good.
Free speech, particularly in comedy. He passionately defends the importance of freedom of expression, arguing that joking about serious issues isn't the same as endorsing them. For Ricky, comedy serves as a vital tool for examining and questioning society's complexities. Ricky Gervais's point is clear. Jokes about...
I did think of adopting for a while, a little third world child, because that would tick all three boxes, wouldn't it? You know? You think of it like, one, I wouldn't be adding to the population problem. I'd be alleviating an existing problem. A young kid born through no fault of his own into abject poverty. He would have died without me. I can literally save his life and give him a great upbringing, right? Two, he would be grateful, wouldn't he? He'd want to pay me back, wouldn't he? Particularly if I let him know that all the other kids in the village, they weren't so lucky, they didn't make it out. I'd tell him that early on, so he really bucked his ideas up, right? I'd go, Tundi, come here. Yeah, go and pop a shirt on, you're not in Africa now, mate. That's better, yeah. Tundi, yeah, water straight out of a tap, and yes. No, it's not free, it's Hampstead. Yeah, of course it's safe. Fresh drinking water. Have as much as you want. Have a bucket full. Straight out of that fresh drinking water. There you go. Go and clean the car. Go on.
But serious issues don't make them less important. Instead, they challenge our views on them. He uses humor as a tool to confront uncomfortable topics and spark conversations. In this segment, Ricky tackles political correctness in his stand-up with irony, exposing the ridiculousness of certain mindsets. He humorously addresses the outdated sexist stereotype that women aren't funny, using irony to emphasize that, of course, women are just as funny. In the final clip, Ricky shares his thoughts on critics who accuse him of being too controversial. While many argue he crosses the line, Ricky asserts that crossing boundaries is exactly what comedy should do. Comedy is meant to challenge limits, provoke thought, and ignite important conversations. Throughout this video, Ricky takes on woke culture, cancel culture, and everything in between. From critiquing woke capitalism to poking fun at current social trends, his humor remains sharp, daring, and unapologetically bold. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.